Going for it, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on, we got the fine. We are live, everybody. Welcome to to Habanos Saturday. Wow.
Wrong show.
I got
Wrong show.
wrong show. I got to stop drinking. Welcome to Habanos Saturday. We're live. This is the last show of 2025. We're here to say, hey, and today we're going to talk about deconstruction of one of the world's top cigar collectors that Rizza knows personally and that we know of as well. We're going to talk about how he collects, why he collects, what he does, and the excitement is too much. And there you go. Rizzo, you want to say anything? You just want me to do all the talking because I look good when I do it. So it's totally up to you.
Well, that's not what I was going to do. I wasn't going to talk about a specific person. I
All
was
right.
going to talk about what I would say is the anatomy of
Okay.
a cigar enthusiast. Even some of these collectors, and there is one thing, the really cool collectors of whatever it is, whether it's cigars or watches or books, and I'm turning into a bit of a book collector myself, are people who don't really want to espouse about it or talk about it too much or show off. The key words are there, show off. They don't really show off about
Right.
it. They think blinginess and talk about money is very, very crass. So these are people who've become collectors of cigars, I guess, through a level of enthusiasm and by accident, to be honest with you. Cigars have been part of their lifestyle uh, um, from ages and ages ago. You know, there's a certain generation which is kind of dying out. My God, the number of messages that I get the moment I get on the show, I'm sitting around
Oh.
doing nothing, and then the moment I go on the show, boom, messages start hitting.
You
And
know,
anyway, I
that's
wanted to
because
talk
you,
about.
sir, are a celebrity. And when the peoples watch you on the show, all fan in your case, and they see you, they start messaging you because they just want you to know that you are Andrew Tate, and they want to be part of you. And that's it.
Well, saying that name again and again, well, so I did a little bit of research, and
Yeah. I don't know who he is.
I wasn't particularly enamored with what I
Oh, good.
found.
We'll never mention him again on the show. He's
But
scum. Done.
the
Next.
thing is this:
Yeah.
the reason why this topic came up
Yeah.
is because having had a year of quite a few significant changes I've seen in the
Right.
cigar smoking scene in general, and how this hobby of mine is developing, and it's really kind of like social media has really pushed it. Like, it's really, social media is a big driving force. Events are a big driving force in the cigar world. But I very luckily perhaps had the culmination of cigar smokes throughout the year at the end of the year
Yeah.
with a fairly um let me pick my words very carefully, okay? With a very convivial, important, and enjoyable personality,
Right.
and someone hiding in plain sight. And it reminded me, and this person reminded me a lot of a generation that is very, very quietly disappearing.
Right.
Once again, hiding in plain sight. They're there. You can meet them. You can chat with them. These are, in cigar terms, these are very, very significant collectors, hoarders, enthusiasts of cigars. They know their history. They know their cigars. They don't really care for new stuff unless it's very interesting. They've been smoking since the 50s and 60s. So there's a certain generation here, and they've been smoking since a time before cigars or anything really was part of social media. So they did it for their own enthusiasm. It was part of a certain way of growing up. It was sort of like passing the mantle from father to son, etc., 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 which is
Right.
roughly, I think, where I came into this. Sort of like, I started experimenting with cigars in the mid 80s, basically because my father used to smoke. But having met a specific personality and having had a very, very rounded discussion, I am reminded of a whole community of cigar smokers that are not really, in my opinion, really addressed too much. And these are the really, really very heavyweight, serious. Um,
Right.
I use the word collector, and they are collecting cigars, but these are people who are literally like books. the analogy, I was walking around doing my groceries. I always do my groceries on a Saturday morning, and I was thinking of an analogy to attach to people like this that I can understand, perhaps a younger generation can understand. You can imagine an old library, and you can imagine someone who sort of curates their library books.
Right.
Okay, and library books are books that someone, not library books, books that are sort of memories that people have sort of they've read, and they associate a book with a certain time or place or a certain thought or a certain level of creativity. And people buy books and put their own library together with no intention ever of selling those books again. And the
Right.
serious cigar collectors do the exact same thing. They are not there to buy and sell cigars. They are there to collect memories. And this goes back to the
Right.
thing I was saying to you perhaps last week, that, you know, I don't really remember the cigar as much as the memory it generated. And
Right.
maybe I'm sort of, I think in terms of age, I'm at that cusp point between, well, I am aging. I'm getting to a slightly, a rickety old level, right?
Well, you're already at a Mercutio level. Before you go on, Princess is arriving, so let's give Princess her introduction and roll the credits. So by the time we're done, she will magically show up. So hold on, everybody, and the RZA will keep pontificating. And there's Princess,
Yes.
everybody. She's arriving. Yes, there she is. Thank God. And before we really get the show going, let's just do this.
This is True OF Entertainment.
Welcome to Habanos Saturday, the fastest growing cigar show on YouTube with over 100,000 subscribers. Come join us every Saturday live. Every Saturday live.
And we're back with the whole crew. This is the last show of 2025, kids. Jump in now with any of your questions. But we're going to talk about deconstructing one of the 10 top cigar collectors in the world. So there you go.
Hello, gentlemen.
Yeah, good to see you.
Good to see you both.
As it should be. This is it. We won't see you until 26 after this.
Oh, damn. Thank God. At least I won't have to see you both till then.
Wow, the love. The love. I feel the love.
So, all right. So,
There you go.
given the fact that it's the last show of this year, what are we smoking, gents?
I'm smoking something I found down the back of the sofa, and it's and it's probably been there for the last 30, 40 years, and I don't know what it is. I'm into vintage all of a sudden.
Very nice. Very nice. I like that.
He hangs out with the collectors. I'm going to smoke.
Are you referring to the cigars?
Well.
He's vintage.
Are you? The thing is this. One of the things I was having a chat with Stephen in the green room, and before Usman came, is my sort of roundup of the year was to talk about the anatomy of a classical cigar collector. Let me put it that way, without naming names, because this is not about a specific person. But for me, I've had a little bit of a wake-up moment at the end of the year. We've been carried away a lot through this year with, some developments in the industry, sort of an energization of the industry, a lot more ladies smoking cigars, a lot more social media, a lot more events, etc., etc. But very luckily, about a week ago, or just a few days ago, and Usman knows this, Stephen knows this, I smoked with someone who really, to me, in my head, represents what I always thought cigar smoking was about. And that got me thinking about why not round up the year with something, a sort of a discussion of a whole genre that is vanishing of a certain type of cigar smoker, what they represent. And this cigar smoker, this collector, this purveyor of actual class and luxury had a conversation with me, and he reminded me that there's a whole bunch of people that are missing from this dialogue. These are people that don't appear on social media. These are people that don't talk about, what plane they got on and which city they visited and what cigar they are real cigar smokers who take it very, very seriously. And that's why I wanted to talk about that. So I don't know if that's a good idea or a bad idea, but that's where my year is rounding itself up on.
That's
I
how.
think
See,
it's an excellent
you
idea. And I will tell you something here in the US or Monte Carlo, depending on my mood. There are about 3 or 4 people that I have met that would be considered not maybe the top 10, but the top 100, to the same as our friend that we cannot mention his name because we revere him so much. And we told him we wouldn't, of course, because the check cleared. But they are the same kind of collector, very low key, very this, very that. But then when you see their cigar collection, you are just like, oh my goodness. Riza sent me a picture of a bundle of cigars. This bundle of cigars is probably 2.5, 3 million pounds. And we figured this, he's going to be smoking a stick New Year's Eve with these people. Each stick is probably about 200,000 pounds. So he'll be smoking a small BMW.
Well, that's just it. You know, that's just it. At the end of the day, and however much this is being sort of like, you know, I've said this quite repetitively,
Yep.
right? I don't say it as a joke. I actually mean it very seriously. At the end of the day, is dried leaves in paper bands in wooden boxes,
you.
yeah? And they're worth something to someone because it's a memory connected with a certain age, certain time, certain place, certain whatever it is. There's a combination of a lot of things, and to that person, they're invaluable. And that's what I was trying to in this discussion. What I was talking about or wanted to talk about are real collectors of cigars are not there. They're not there to trade in cigars. It's not a business. What they're doing is they're creating a library for themselves, a library of memories.
Yep.
And whether and you may find, and I know this, that people who are collecting cigars are collecting other things as well. They're collecting books, they're collecting cars, they're collecting watches. They are collectors of memories. They're collecting people, actually, in the nicest way possible. They're curators. They're basically they're museum curators. They're not there to sell anything. They're there to find something, put it in place, go and look at it every, few years and revisit it for their own personal pleasure. And perhaps the pleasure of their loved ones or family, but really about their own personal pleasure.
It's their personal pleasure. Trust me when I tell you this. It's very interesting when
You both done?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, Princess. I'm sorry, Princess. Please feel free to jump in anytime you'd like.
No, I thought I'm also allowed to say a couple of things, but okay, fine. Okay, right. So since you both have taken on the high roads of being super intellectual today, I am just going to enjoy
just trying, making an effort. Just
Yeah.
compared to contrast with you, so
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is that I would at least use this time to smoke a good cigar with
Please.
two of my great friends whom
Somebody walk in the room that we don't
Where are
know? Yeah, who walked in?
whom I have had the pleasure of sharing this screen during this entire year, and
Yes.
they've dealt with my shenanigans. So for today and the last one for the Habanos Saturday, I am going to smoke something which is really liked by Raza most of the times. Generally, we don't.
There you go.
So a Kawaba. The small,
yes. Traditionales?
Can you does it look like a traditionalis?
Well, he's old. He can't tell.
It's like it's less than my hands thing, so it is a Davidoff.
On the screen, it looks massive.
But well, that's what his wife says. Anyway, but I'm just saying you have small hands, so everything looks massive.
Davidoff.
So there you go.
Davidoff it is, and I'm gonna cut with a cutter that Raza gave to me.
This is a very memorable 2025 show, everybody. Tears are coming from my eyes.
The Colibri green one.
Yeah, the green one. You can't remember. He gives them out like they're candy.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I know. He doesn't remember.
He doesn't. It's how it is when you're at his age. He can't remember anything, and he's envious of a stiff wind. So you know what I'm saying. So it's just one of those things.
And
just to mention, Colibri was a brand that I kind of sort of like. This was around COVID lockdown time. Colibri was a brand which I thought was really good brand. I haven't found that their products last too long. That's my issue with Khalid.
I would tend to agree to a certain degree, especially when it comes to the lighters.
Yeah, the lighters, they clap out big fast.
Yeah, in terms of cutters, I think I'm okay with them. Cutters are fine. Especially, I think the V cutter they have is the best V cutter out there in the market. And to light it up for today, a lighter and a gift from a few of my favorite friends based out of
Dubai. Here we go. The Habibi Club again. Hey, yeah. We know you got to go. You're a member of the Habibi Club. Blah blah blah. You got an invitation. Rizza and I are not sophisticated enough to belong.
Well, we have an expression. We have an expression where I come from, which is the same place that Usman comes from, right?
Yeah.
When you can't win at a game, you just turn the board upside down. Say, I'm not playing.
Yeah.
I'm not playing this game. Yeah?
He's like, look,
if I can't be a member, I don't want to be a member.
That's right. It's like Groucho Marx said, any club that wouldn't want me to be a member, I wouldn't want to be a member of. So that's right.
Yeah, some of us whose pride has been tortured and hurt. Yeah. We like to say that, I'm fine. I'm just a club member of one. Okay,
that's right.
That's really what that means. However you interpret that, that means I can't get into any club, so I might as well just sit quietly on my own and smoke a cigar.
Yeah, no one lets me into any clubs. Apparently, you have to wear pants.
Now that I have lit my cigar, said my words for today. Please continue. Please continue with the boring conversation you guys are having.
It wasn't really a boring conversation. I'll be very honest with you.
I do not wish to engage myself in any braining conversation today. That's why I'm giving.
It wasn't really that. It was just a sort of like an end of year thought for me on a personal level. It was an end of year thought. We've had lots of fun conversations. We've had, as you say, Usman, shenanigans. We've spoken to. Usman has actually vanished.
I'm very much here.
And I didn't even have to light a cigarette for him to do that.
Thank God. Right. You didn't even have to kick him off like the last time.
I had to say F all for Usman to vanish.
Great. He'll be back.
It was just a thought. It was a really thoughtful thought at the end of the year. My God, we have everyone. We have people in bright colored suits. We have. We have these exotic luxury clubs. We've got people who say we're all about luxury, and the more they say the word luxury, the more crass they look, and people are opening. No, honestly, that's how I think. I'm sorry, that's how I think. Yeah, you want to open a cigar shop in London and say it's the height of luxury. The fact that you have to say it diminishes it, in my opinion. True luxury and true. Luxury is a contrived concept. People who actually live that lifestyle don't talk about it that way. Yeah, right. That's the lifestyle they live. Right. Yeah. It's that same thing. If you call yourself an aficionado, you're not one. If you say you're intelligent, you're not that. It's someone else has to describe you that way. Right.
If you describe me that way, I don't want to say it myself.
Well, no, but there you go, right? So all this stuff about, we're the most luxurious this and that. Go, do a fucking running jump, yeah, okay, yeah. This is for a different kind. That's for a different kind of, I guess, a younger market that they gravitate to these sort of to the marketing more than anything else, right? There's luxury and then there's real luxury,
right?
And people, and I've come to understand. Or not understand, I've been reminded literally at the end of the year that the thing that I liked about cigar smoking was the company of certain type of people that didn't have to send themselves up. They were very grounded. They knew what they were talking about. They have some intellectual nourishment to offer. They know their cigar. They know the product. They know the history. They know the ambiance. They know the style without having to talk about style. What do they say about style? If you have to buy it, you don't have it, right?
Correct.
Yeah, it comes very, very naturally. There are some people on this show that can sit in a t-shirt on a sofa and they have more style and panache than someone who has to dress up to smoke, for example, right?
And we don't want to mention anybody in the bottom.
But each has their value.
Yeah, I see that, both of you. You've teamed up against me. It's so fine.
No, we love you. Listen, you already
cursed my cigar. I had to use a perfect draw.
I will say, I would like to say.
Already, you have to use already.
Yeah. Let me just say this about what you just said, which I agree with you 100%. When I go to where I smoke my cigars and I just sit there, and to your point, I sit there in my polo shirt and a pair of shorts and my yellow sneakers. If any of you have seen the little impromptu things I do when people ask me, hey, do something for our cigar or for our easy ashtray or whatever it might be. I'm just sitting there enjoying the moment. So that's why you don't see me taking pictures. Like I'll take a couple of quick pictures before I light my cigar. And then after that, my phone is down. And I'm there for the moment. I'm there for that experience. So to your point, there's a certain age group where we don't document everything. I was out a few days ago having lunch at a restaurant in town that lets you sit outside and smoke cigars. And there was like 15 people doing it. So I didn't take pictures. It was just the experience. It's the moment. And that's what I think a certain age group doesn't really understand. Nobody really cares. Like, you know what I mean? It's very nice to get likes on your Instagram or people watch our show, which we're very grateful for. But at the end of the day, the show is for us. You guys are just welcomed into our homes, if you will, to watch the show. The Instagrams are for whatever. But at the end of the day, we're just saying here, we're bringing our friends and acquaintances to the show and come have a smoke with us. That's really what it is.
Personally, I don't know what Usman feels about this. Yeah, I don't think.
Well, that part I agree with Steven, because see, I do take pictures. I try to take pictures and all that stuff.
We've seen your pictures.
But the fact is, in most of the pictures, if you see, either it is just once after the cigar is lit or before lighting the cigar. So I do it again, mostly before that, and then I need my time to enjoy my cigar, enjoy the company I'm with, and that's basically it. So that I agree with you, and I think that's the best part. And yes, well, I actually document, I think, more than both of you.
Yes.
But again, it comes down to 2 generations down. But the fact is, I still have thousands of things that I don't upload or something like this, because today I just felt, and if you see, unlike most of the people who do this, I would upload at least, or at the max, twice or thrice in terms of posting a week. Yeah, stories, reposts by friends, that's a different story. But when it comes to proper documenting something, it's like twice or thrice a week. And
original content. You're talking about original content.
Yeah, and if I feel like doing it, otherwise it can just sometimes be more than a week. So I mean, so primary is smoking cigars, enjoying the company.
I agree. Yeah, that's how it should, and that's how it should be.
It is. I mean, the world is changing. You know, like I personally don't think there's anything wrong with taking photos and videos of cigars. Look, tourists, I mean, ever since a camera has been around, people have been documenting their moments. Yeah, tourism around the world, the objects of their desire, whether it's people, whether it's places, whether it's things. There's no issue. I don't have an issue with that, right? Okay. I think the sort of the ugly head that reared itself with regard. What's ugly head? I'm going to have to be careful again with my words. One of the stories that cropped up halfway through this year was the sort of this is the show where we had Jassim on the show, and the previous show was, I mean, this industry in terms of social media is going in various different directions. You can agree with it or disagree with it. There's no issue, right? Okay.
Right.
It's just that more traditional smokers, such as myself, we kind of find it funny, right? Where it's going. Okay, it's going, can't stop it, and you know it's become part of the thing. But you know the sort of like clickbait for cigars and sort of like come and watch me and my luxurious lifestyle and etc.
Right.
It's fine, but it's not for and that's why my end of year experience reminded me of what I thought it was about, and that's why I mentioned it today. It was the anatomy of a cigar collector, a classical cigar collector,
a real collector, not that someone that's doing it because of whatever. Listen, we've had a couple of real collectors on the show, and if you think about it, they've all been collecting since some of them earlier, some in the 70s, some started in the 80s or 90s. But if you think about it, they collect like we smoke. It's the enjoyment of, right? It's like you said, to preserve the moments. It's a different mentality than today. Like with the Chinese, they're collecting because they think it's going to increase in value. There's a difference.
There's all sorts of reasons, but the thing is this: as I went to a Davidoff event maybe a month and a half ago.
Yeah, sure. Pick that up.
Which was really it was in.
What's wrong? You haven't mentioned Roy Somers till now. when you
And we're
talk about
missing-
Davidoff, right?
You've done it for me. You've done it for me. And
And
the
guys,
thing is
let me
this,
just, guys, if I may, let's just thank Ahmed. He gave to the show for the Christmas
Ahmed
holidays.
Al-Suwaidi, thank you very much.
Yes, and thank you very much for that, my friend. That was very, very kind of you. Just wanted to thank him. Let's big shout out for the show, and we will, yes, enjoy a cigar on you. All right, sorry about that. Please.
No, the reason I mentioned this Davidoff event, it was jointly with Rolls-Royce. It was their 100th year anniversary of the Rolls-Royce Phantom. Sorry, 100th year, not 140, 100th year anniversary of the Phantom. And there were two distinct type of people in the room. There were the modern day Rolls-Royce drivers who are sort of like young money, new money, etc. And then there were the very traditional Rolls-Royce owners who've been buying Rolls-Royces for like since the 60s and 70s, and they have like a 100-year-old car, etc. Those are two distinctly different types of customer. Those are two distinctly type of collectors. Those are two distinctly type of people. And what is nice really is to enjoy the older classical collectors, because it's a dying generation. They're going to vanish, and the amount of, in a very, very serious way, the amount of humor that they've got, the amount of experience they've got, the amount of insight that they have is something we'll never have, because they've seen, they've met people like Zeno Davidoff, and they know that this guy was an influencer. He was influenced as in a marketing influencer. He really didn't have much input at all, if any, in the actual cigar development or the market. He was just a sort of a brand figurehead. I would say just a very important brand figurehead, yeah? But they are able to give you the history of that. The historical tasting notes, if you like, that you get from interacting with classical cigar smokers and collectors is astounding. And I had a very refreshing reminder of that. That's what it's about. This is about old school Thai, old school humor, old school attitude, old school collecting. And these people were above money. It's very crass to talk about money. It's very crass to talk about luxury and lifestyle. They just live it. And that's what I find really alluring. The thing you can't buy is the thing, to me, that's most alluring. You cannot buy that kind of class.
You can't buy elegance. And here's the thing.
No.
My grandparents used to say this to me when I was growing up, and it's very true today. There is a difference between rich and wealthy.
Thank
and
you.
The nouveau riche are rich. And the wealth.
You can go to Savile Row and buy a suit for £5,000 today.
Correct, but that doesn't make you. It doesn't make you anything other than you spend £5,000. There's a different mentality when you're rich and when you're wealthy. And a lot of these people weren't brought up old school. It's like, look at me, look what I have. And at the end of the day, the people that have real wealth, whether it's their cigar collection, their watch collection, whatever, they don't display it for the world to see.
They don't display it for the world. Exactly right, Stephen.
They don't display it.
They curate it for themselves. Like a library.
Right.
They'll, from time to time, every few months, every few years, every decade, go and revisit certain places in their library. Let's say their cigar collection. And say, oh, I've got this. Oh, I'll have a look at this. And they'll smell the cigars, and they couldn't care less what the world thinks. And that cigar collection, to them, is invaluable.
And it is actually
invaluable because it's a receptacle of their memories and their life. Okay, so what are they going to sell that for? They're going to sell it. They're going to just pass it down to their kids if they smoke, or the next generation, or whatever it may be. The ones that what I find interesting, and this I'm going to raise with at least one of the gentlemen that I know that fits this description. What do you do when there is no one to pass it down to? What do you do with a collection like that? So for example, you don't have kids, or your kids don't smoke, or they're not interested in it. What do you do then?
See,
and that's I find that I wouldn't know, because I'm not in that situation. What do you do in that case?
Well, here's the thing. First of all, a crazy question. What they should do, of course, is give them to us. So right away, the fact that you have to even ask that and they're not thinking that way, crazy. No, to your point, that's true, because some of these gentlemen that we do know, they don't have we'll pick on Urs a little bit. Urs has a son who's 18. Hopefully he'll enjoy cigars. He's got 5 warehouses full of cigars, blah, 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 blah. Other gentlemen we know have much more, and they don't have anybody. So it is kind of interesting. It's almost going to have to be left to somebody in the family to sell it at auction, or they're going to have to gift it to friends. You know what I mean? It's going to be like, I want to give it to these guys type of thing.
It's just a question to the air. What people do is what people do, right? But I find that fascinating that, like, for example, it's easier with books. I collect books.
Right.
And it's very easy to give my books to my kids, right? Okay,
Right.
whether they read them or not, but it's an easy thing to do. Hey, this was a great book, and I from time to time will say, this one, read
when
this
you
one.
color when you color the coloring book with the crayons now.
These are the ones that haven't been colored in. So
Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay. So, but yeah, I know I agree with you. I think, but see, I collect things, and I think you and I have talked about it, possibly with Usman also off air. But I don't tell anybody anything, because to me, that's my world.
Let me ask our resident collector. Now,
Yes,
I know
Usman.
Usman collects so many accessories, paraphernalia. Yeah. I mean, he collects cigars as well, right? Yeah. But Usman, it's become obvious in the last few months because of his enthusiasm for accessories and brands. He's got an interest level, a hobby, right? What is he going to do with that? After I don't know how long Usman has been engaged in this, sort of like 10 years, 15 years, I would have guessed, Usman, right? This is a 10, 15-year exercise where you've been collecting cigar paraphernalia. And may you carry on doing that the next 20, 30 years. But what are you going to do with it at the end? What is it? You're going to put it in a museum? You're going to pass it down? What are you going to do?
Right. So I will take this conversation one step back. While we were talking about, and the example you gave was Rolls-Royce, right? Mm-hmm. And since both of you know, my other hobby is or my fun thing or pastime is classic cars.
Correct.
Now, when you were talking about wealth and richness, this reminded me of a gentleman I respect a lot. I mean, he's a seasoned enthusiast in terms of classic cars. And he smokes cigars also once in a while. So sometimes we sit down and we talk about cigars. So when it comes to cars, I listen and learn from him. When it comes to cigars, I mean, there is once in a while where I'm able to share something new with him. So the difference that you were talking of, and I'm just specifically going to go to Rolls-Royce. So this gentleman has a 1924 or 28 Rolls-Royce till date in its original condition, in its original color, original paint, and he has completely kept it in that way, passed on from generations. This used to be the Nawab of Bahawalpur's Rolls-Royce. He also has a if I'm not wrong, a Cadillac V8 or V16 from 1930. And a Packard, like all those 20s, 30s kind of thing. You go to his home, these cars are actually parked, what I would say, in the master bedroom. Because what he has done is, in that home, you go there, these 3 cars are parked, and everything in terms of the house is built around, so that
Part of the furniture. The cars are part of the furniture, as is.
Exactly. No, and when you go to that room, the walls actually talk about the history of these cars, when they were bought, who bought them, and from the state of Bahawalpur before creation of India and Pakistan and partition, the pictures from that time to then they were generation, and since how long they've been, because if I'm not wrong, they have it for like 25, 30 years or more now in there. And this gentleman is in his mid 60s, and they've been doing it. So when you talk to him, you actually learn, you see the passion, the enthusiasm. And because I am part of different car clubs, here we have now a lot of gatherings because it's winters and these cars come out. There are a lot of Rolls-Royce collectors, which are the Phantoms and all of these silver spurs and all of these things. And they have bigger egos and they are just like there to show off. So the difference is very clearly, and when you asked me the same question, what are you going to do with your accessories? When I see them, his kids, his daughters and his sons have actually been engrossed into the hobby and they drive those cars versus the others. In my case, also coming to the cigars part, I think I have slowly and gradually started to train kids into that stuff. So now sometimes my daughter picks my cigars or looks into my accessories and all of that stuff. So I think I am very okay with the fact that if they want to take on this hobby or passion of mine forward when I'm not there, more than happy to do that. I'd rather love that if we do it together, because I never got that kind of a time where I could have sat down with my dad and did things like this because of the era they had come from, where things were always slightly formal between the generations. So I'd be happy if this goes on, and if it doesn't go, having said
And
that, for the last few months, I have realized the fact that it's either me who's gonna smoke them, or they're gonna go somewhere else. Someone else gonna smoke them or sell them off. So better that I smoke them because it's my money. So I smoke anything and everything what
Yeah,
I
well,
feel.
yeah, but I mean, the most relevant thing is, it just was a throwaway thought, right? If you've got a massive cigar collection and it's your personal collection and it's not there to sell, you're not there
Right.
to sell it. You're there because you're surrounding yourself with these memories. If there is no one to smoke them after you within your family or loved ones, what do you think you're doing? And it was just a thought, and I don't even know if there's an answer to that, and everyone will have their own personal answer. And I found that
I, I
fascinating.
think I think
You
knowing
can
knowing
pass a lot of things down. You can pass
yes,
you can pass cars down, etc. You
so
can
they
pass a lot,
are.
but when it comes to
My cars are
cigars,
going.
this is a disintegrating product.
Right.
Eventually, right? It's not.
Mhm.
It's even. I think. Is it fair to say that cigars disintegrate even faster than wines? Because there are wines that are 200-300 years old, maybe, yeah, that are still there in cask and whatever. Yeah, don't know much about wine, but cigar. This is a disintegrating product. Eventually, at some stage, it will just be broken leaves in a box. What do people do? Anyway, it was a
It
throwaway
depends.
thought.
It depends. It depends on how they've passed it. So earlier last year, I was contacted by a gentleman again from my cars group, who happens to be knowing a few people, and the question was that there is an old humidor from the original Habanos world, and had come from Cuba. Those big cabinet things, which were the old school ones. So there is one of those, and there are some cigars. And the gentleman passed away a few years ago. They've managed to keep that till now, but now that the family is moving out, they want to sell it off. Luckily, I think I stumbled across and I saw it was a beautiful humidor. I even got some cigars which were from 2004, 2005, had been kept in a pretty decent condition. The gentleman had smoked few of them were there. So I just picked up everything. I think this is also dependent on how you have so they had, or the gentleman who had all of this stuff had told, or had trained his house help and kids on how to maintain the cigars, and if they have to sell them, try to find someone who would actually care for them and maybe pays relevant money. So I think this is also important on how things are taken care of afterwards. In my car's case, that it's very clear, oh, this car goes to which daughter and all of that stuff. In cigars, I'm not sure. Let's see.
Yeah, but cigars are that's a different thing than a car. Like a
Yeah.
car is one of those things, like if you give a car to your kid, that whether it's a classic or whatever, and they don't like it, there's 1,400 auction places that can sell this car. Cigars is a different everything. It's a different mentality. It's a different lifestyle. When
You
we
know
all
what?
speak about how we got into cigars, it's much different than people got into cars, right? It's usually people, if it wasn't your dad getting you into cars, it's like they got money. It's like, what can I get? Cars. They buy, what I'm saying? So cigars for a lot of us is very old world, old school, and we do collect them, but it's a different mentality than if I'm collecting a fleet of supercars or if I'm going to collect watches or whatever.
Totally agreed on that part. I think for that, what I've done is, and maybe I was just being skipped, different mind. A few months ago, I kind of marked my boxes because I have a few friends also who keep their cigars with me. And then I have all of mine. So I marked them and I sent a text to my friends that your stuff is here. If something happens to me, this is where you contact and you get your stuff. And in addition to that, what I've also done is that I have marked 2 or 3 of my very close friends who would be able to help. And I've written down the number that in case something happens to me, for my cigars and my paraphernalia, talk to them so that they can guide you what to do. So in case you decide to dispose of, again, it's a different story how things work. At the end of the day, once we're gone, it doesn't matter. And having said that, I'm just realizing that I decided I'm not going to get into any of that brainy conversation with both of you, but you've actually lured me into this shit. I'm going to go back to the cigar.
Wait a second. Let me just say this about what you just said. First of all, I'm assuming when it comes to cigars, Riz and I are the first 2 phone numbers that someone's going to call. Second of all,
problem is you both are too far away. You can't help in person.
that right here, that hurts me. That you don't think that one of us, right here in my heart, I'm really hurt.
I couldn't care less. It's just dead leaves.
Okay,
See, that's why.
Okay,
that's exactly why.
You see,
that's true.
to one person it's dead leaves, to another person it's a memory, and to that
That's true.
person to whom it's a memory, is the onus is on them to take care of their memory. Yeah, a book
agree.
is just a book. A book is just
Yeah.
But to like
Dead true.
80% of the books that I have,
Yeah.
I've got handwritten notes in my book. So like even
Same
if I'm
here.
reading just a novel, I've got notes, and to me it's important. But maybe one day one of my kids will open it and say, "Ah, that's what my father was thinking when he read that." Yeah, they may do, and they may not. They may never read that book.
Don't
These
color,
are very
don't color,
personal
don't
things.
color outside.
Things are
Don't color
personal.
outside the lines. Make sure you use purple here. Yeah, that's those are deep thoughts when you write a book.
And by the way, the other thing I discovered very much is with these classical collectors, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and collectors of, let's say, vintage cigars and etc. They have very specific tastes on what they like to smoke. It's not like they don't really get carried away at all by all these regional stuff and new limited edition limitadas and grand reserves. They don't really care about these things. They have a connection with an industry and a hobby that goes can I dare I say the words above and beyond that? They're kind of like whatever club.
Right.
This is what I smoke. This is what I've been collecting. This is what I know about my collection, and they stick to that. And I find that very refreshing because you don't meet people like this often enough. And when you do, they kind of pin you back down to the ground again. You don't, you don't get carried away with sort of, oh, what a great event, and oh, I really want to be part of this luxurious group of people. Or it's not about that. It's about 1 or 2 really good individuals and a really good cigar and a really good memory. And that's what I was really, really. It wasn't even intellectual. It was like a closing thought for the year. That's what I thought. And I'm
Okay.
And it's going to influence even the way that I post on social media. I've been thinking very hard for the past 3 or 4 days, at least 4 or 5 days. I haven't really been posting anything, but I'm going to come out in the new year with, in my opinion, a little change in the way I do my stuff, in the way I record my memories.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for being more respectful in the next year.
I didn't say more respectful. I just said change. Who said respectful?
Yeah, there's no respect here. I don't know if you've seen the show.
It has to be,
I'm telling you what I expect from you next year. That's what I'm trying to
say. Tell me something. When have I been disrespectful? Tell me.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, wait. I have that list right here. Let me just pull this out. Number 1, on January 3rd of this
some
year.
Of the regulars that we have, like
Samir is saying hi, and he's also saying you're already a member. You don't need to think twice about it. And what he's referring to this.
Oh, the Habibi Club.
You're a member. Yeah, you're already a member. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am. He said it to you. He said it to you as well. You're a member.
I'm just a member of hearts, right? Wherever I can sit, wherever I can sit, and I can connect, I'm a member in that moment.
Having said that, gentlemen,
apparently they don't allow Jews.
You don't need to.
No, they don't allow Jews in the
club. You don't need to wear a patch to have honor.
Oh, Stephen, you have no idea who the group allows or not. But okay, fine. You would definitely get in. Anyway, I shared with both of you that I would need an early off today. But before I go, I would like to first of all thank almost any and every guest that we have had the pleasure of being on the show. So starting from AJ to Aaron Sigmund to Jean-Marie to our dear and smiling friend. Where the hell did my brain go?
Yours?
Sorry, no. Oh, wait. Urs is not only a friend, Urs is also a brother.
Laurent has been on the show.
Wait. It has come. Brain fog has gone. Brain fog has subsided. It has come. Philip Buckthorpe. And yes. And
Amy.
Amy.
Amy, in terms of our friends.
AJ Patel.
This is me giving my.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here, let me do the close-up of you again. I'm helping you with your age,
right.
old timers.
Right. So my dear friends and brothers, especially Urs.
Leaf Master. What was it? Leaf Master in Dubai.
Urs, Jasim from Dubai. Laura, thank you very much for coming in. Rayad from the Leaf Master, and anyone and everyone who has been here. AJ,
who are you forgetting, Usman?
I have a gripe to pick up because you only showed up on this show when I was not here. So
he's coming right after you leave.
So next year we need to do. So next year we need to do better. But thank you very much, everyone, for being here.
Have you missed out anyone, Usman? I have a
for
feeling
allowing us to enjoy our smokes better and have those moments. And to both of you gentlemen, Raza and Stephen, for tolerating me for another year.
You're not dying.
Well, yeah.
It sounds like a death speech.
I know, right? Any moment.
You're going to be back.
Yeah, you're going to come back next Saturday. I'm just saying, it's going to be 2026. You'll be back.
I'm not coming back this year. Sorry, guys. I'm done for this year.
Oh, well, okay. We'll have to march on somehow.
Yeah, for the next 20 minutes. Hey, by the way, Urs says, thank you, Usman, for your kind words. Check is in the mail. So there you go. And I think that was very nice of him. But
and last but not the least, to all of our regular viewers, especially Ali K, cigar analyst as we call him, Ahmed Al Suwaidi, he's been there. Walid Idris, who's been a new Qasim. I'm sure because of Raza's super influence, Don Sethi also views us. So
yes.
AJ is also a regular viewer. We know that, and there's a big gang of people and friends based out of Dubai and Pakistan who view it. So thank you very much, everyone.
Can I ask you a question before you leave? Does the Habibi Cigar Club regularly watch this show?
Yes, sir. So Ahmed Al Suwaidi is a member of, or the founding member of Habibi Cigar Club. And Samir is a founding member of Habibi Cigar Club. Maverick, which is Amir, is a founding member and a board member. There are other few members, board members, and founding members.
Then why don't we have a logo of Habibi
why
Cigar
aren't they
Club
sponsoring the little Habibi logo here? They don't want to come on the show. I know they're anti-Semitic, but actually,
Usman, if you've got that, why don't you have Habibi Cigar Club on the show?
Yeah, why not?
We'll get
why
that.
isn't it playing 20?
Let's correct that. And now I'll say, Serena, the president for Habibi Cigar Club, you, Arash, Three Amigos Cigar Club, one of the influencers, Amir, Saad, Khalifa, Jasim, and everyone from Habibi, you guys are more than welcome. And let's correct this in the next year and bring you on and share the passion and love for cigars.
Yeah.
And
that's, I think it's very nice. You'll have them, they'll come on the show. And what we really want to know, what Riz is trying to say, and he's being polite, other than they're watching it in the private club, do they just stream Habanos Saturday 24/7? Because that's really what a true fan is.
It's a virtual club, so they view the show when we are live and afterwards. So yes.
Who knew? I didn't know that it was a virtual club. And when they can come on, they can talk. I thought it was a physical club. I thought we had to go to Dubai.
It's basically a group of friends
Yeah.
and circle around the world who are passionate about cigars and
Nice.
do not want any kind of commercial influence, but just the love of cigars,
I like that.
and sit together, enjoy some good cigars,
Nice.
share with each other, and that's basically it. And that's the influence they have.
Now I got a question. Does everybody who's a member get a lighter?
Oh yeah, of course. These not
Oh.
even many of the members, many of the people who are not even members and just have visited many of the events, they even get those. So it's nothing to do with that.
I'm waiting for when they do a collaboration with ST DuPont and come out with the Habibi Cigar Club ST DuPont Haute Création.
It's in the works. I think it's in the works. I think already.
But I bet you we don't get one of those for free. I bet you got to pay for that one.
Well,
That-
you got to
that
get into the
everyone
club
will have to-
first.
That everyone will have to pay for it.
You
I
got to get
guess.
into the club first.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
gentlemen.
You're out of
For
here.
for
Have a
this
happy,
year,
healthy.
thank you very much, both of you.
Now,
Love you
AJ
both.
Patel can, AJ, we love you too. AJ, you can come on in 5 minutes, he'll be gone. Anyway, we love you. Best to your family. We know what you have to go do. The sex change will be complete for next year. So best to your family. You know, we love you, and we'll see you next Saturday, which will be, I think it's the 3rd of January, 2026. So there you go.
So happy New Year to you,
Yes,
Happy New Year
when
to
it
both of you.
happens. Happy New Year, and have a safe time. I know you've got stuff to deal with. Go and deal with it.
Gio.
Gio, my
Gio.
friend, Gio. And ladies and gentlemen, there goes Princess if she can figure out how to get out of her stuff.
This is a club. This is a club that's hard to get out of.
Yes, I know. Once you're in, you're in. Princess, do you need me to get rid of you? I can. I can push a button.
No, I want to. I just want that the
Instagram?
live streaming does not get disrupted by both of you. That's what I'm trying to figure.
Okay. Good luck with that. All right. Instagram, we think is still there, so we'll see. That was very nice. It's nice to have
nice.
Princess come in for a little bit with a guest appearance.
That's right. And there's some closing thoughts for the year there. It was been what do you think the year's been like, Stephen? For you?
For me personally, or for the show, or for what?
Well, for the show, for you personally, what's your roundup of the year?
My roundup of the year, it's been an interesting and fascinating year. For the show, I think the show has gotten new fans, new heights. You know, it started out as kind of like a whatever show. Next year, I think it'll be 2 or 3 years we're doing it. And I think it's just kind of taken off a life of its own, a lot because of you and Usman, not me. I just sit here and look pretty. So I think in the respect of that, the show is doing very well, and the fans are wonderful, and they are here religiously every Saturday or during the week when they watch it, and new fans constantly. And I think people find it, what I understand when people talk to me about, they like it because it's like they're sitting with their own mates at a cigar lounge, and they can just enjoy the bantering and the rattling or the education that we give.
I think it's much more freeform. This is much more freeform. We're not structured in any way, right?
Oh,
okay. Having said that, the advice that I'm being given by not one person, quite a few people, is that in the nicest way possible, this show has become something else, because we've had quite a few very, very significant, important participants within the cigar industry on the show, which I wasn't expecting that. I don't know if you were expecting that. I don't know if you're smart, but that's what's happened. Is we're just that this year, if with any luck and with hand on heart, right, it's going to be a lot more of those personalities on this show. They are really enjoying. The feedback is they're really enjoying the ability to be able to speak very openly. Which is, you don't get that on like structured documentaries and those have their places, right? Okay, but we're not here to say, oh, this is luxurious or this is really actually it's whatever the moment captures you, and whoever wants to talk about whatever they want to talk about, they can talk about it. And the one pet gripe I have is that for some reason, even Usman thinks I've been disrespectful. I don't think I've been disrespectful to anyone on the show, but I could be wrong. So my apologies to anyone if anyone feels that way, but I don't think I have.
You have been a perfect gentleman the whole year, if I may say so.
No, I have my issue. I have my issues and my way of doing it. Yeah, but it's meant to be out of humor. It's meant to be sort of like edgy stuff. What's the point of just talking about bread and butter all the time? We want to talk about something that goes snap, crackle, and pop as well. And there you go.
You know what a fan heard you talk about, and I hate to pick on EGM because I like their Lancero, but talked about their EGM that looks like a BK cigar, where he said RZA was really polite about saying that was a crap cigar. I said, well, short of saying it sucked, yes. So, and I think what the fan said, which I thought was interesting, is that people enjoy the fact when we talk about a cigar or a person, we tell you exactly how we feel. We're not trying to be politically correct. We're just saying, here's what we think. If you don't like it, too bad. And if you like it, great. And it's more of, if the same
How
thing,
can everything? How can everything be great? How can
That's
everything be
true.
good? How
I
can
agree.
everything be perfect? It can't.
Right.
Everything has its nuance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And there are clearly some brands out there that are doing very well, cigar brands that are doing really, really well, but they're about brand. They're not as much about the cigar. The cigar has to perform, right? Okay.
Correct.
But it's about the brand. And there are some cigars that don't shout and scream, and they're outstanding. And there are some products that are somewhere in the middle, and there are some shit products out there that go on about how amazing they are. There's all sorts. So to be able to come on here and speak relatively openly, honestly, we're just opinions. Yeah, they're opinions. If someone doesn't like them, they don't have to listen to them, or they can debate them with us. We're not here to change the world. We're really here because we enjoy our company. We talk about the crap that we smoke. Let's put it that the crap that we smoke. And from time to time, one of the good things about smoking crap is from time to time you find a jewel, and that jewel raises its head well above everything else. That's all.
All right. So really quick question. I know we kind of did this last week, but the number one cigar, whether it's Cuban or non-Cuban for 2025 for you is what?
The number one cigar is the last cigar I smoked, and it was at the beginning of this week. It was an aged cigar from 1991, 1919. I smoked it with this very significant cigar collector. It was a Bolívar Royal Corona, and it was fucking outstanding. And he saw me smoke it until my fingers were burning it right down to the nub. No cigar spear, nothing, retrohale, everything all the way. It was outstanding. And one cigar can turn it all.
That's true.
One experience can turn it all. One memory can turn it all. Because if it's a great memory, you may or may not remember in a year's time or 2 years' time, may not remember that cigar. Probably. But I remember the fact that I sat down and smoked it with so-and-so and how much I enjoyed it. That's all I care about. And because I have such a bad memory, what I do is I take a photo, and that way I can look back and say, oh, that's what it was. That's it.
But so my question on that memory, because we know the gentleman, and you sent me pictures of the cigars and the whole thing.
And I didn't post it.
No. And we're not posting it. That's just between our little group.
Yeah.
Is it the cigar or the company at that point that made the cigar?
It's the whole damn shebang. That's what it is, right? Yeah. We're not talking about the world's most expensive cigar. We're not talking about the world's best, the most intellectual discussion. What we're talking about is the thing, as a purist, the thing that the whole cigar is meant to do is generate a memory that is unforgettable. And that memory is a wonderful memory, and that's the thing I collected,
which is perfect.
But I didn't share this time. Very, very rare of me, but I didn't share it this time.
Well, that's because our mutual acquaintance is very camera shy, and so the fact that we got to get a little glimpse of one of his wheels of cigars that he was nice enough to let you take a picture of was itself fascinating.
And the one thing is, I think I've said this many, many times, the cigar is a truth serum. You sit with someone and you smoke, and if they're enjoying and you're enjoying, you will say things, and you will reveal of yourself, of your personality and of your character and of your brain, things that other people don't get to see. You know what I mean? And hello?
Yep.
Are you still there? Yeah. And so that's what it is. Very disarming activity, disarming activity. You're not there to pose. You're not there to sit on a yacht and say, oh, I'm smoking so-and-so. That has its place. Once again, those things have their places.
Right.
But that's not me. I am much more of hey, I'm marinating in the aroma, not only of the cigar, but of the personality and aura and intellect and intelligence. And there's Ruven just said, I enjoy standard production Habanos more than the hyped up ones. There you go, Ruven.
Well, and if it wasn't for Ruven, there'd be several cigars I wouldn't have tried that I actually loved. The Winds of Your Daughter, Liberty, and a few others. So he's turned me on to many cigars. He also gave me one of my favorite cigars, which was the Juan Lopez Regional from Argentina.
Yeah, the Connoisseur,
The Connoisseur,
the
which was
Connoisseur
a
Grand
beautiful.
Paragon. Yeah, we said that. We mentioned that so many times. That's an indelible mark that Roven has left on this kind of group. That particular cigar is something that we all talk about. So there you go. So we talk about cigar, but actually we're talking about Roven, actually, because he's the one who brought that energy into the room, and that's how it is.
Yeah, he brought a bunch of stuff to us, which we're very grateful for. So, but it's been an interesting year. I think, like I said, our fans have been interesting. Everything's been interesting. So it's very cool to see everything that we have and that we've been fortunate enough with the fans to get. You know, like I wouldn't change it. You know, I think the fans have really made it totally outstanding. So I was very, very happy with that. So, and you know, you don't get that on a lot of shows, right? Like you said, we're not scripted, which is pretty much a fact.
So my serious part of the year is over, and God willing, when we come back in the new year, I'm going back to my pokey diggy, I don't give two fucking hoots thing, because I'm gonna see if I can push Usman's buttons more this year. But I will try and do it in a perhaps more classy way, if that's possible.
I think we just push his buttons for fun. And I think every time he can't be on the show, when AJ comes on or Ruben comes on or the guests, that just drives him nuts. Are you kidding? That's the best part of the show. That day that
we find our company and our guests as they appear, and we react to them, and we enjoy them as they appear. We don't really have anything structured, apart from the histories that we did earlier in the year, which I hope that people enjoyed. And it's nice to weave everything in together: history, cigars, people, personalities, moments, memories, all of those things.
And I'm hoping that 2026 will give people more memories and more enjoyment, and we'll bring more cigars, more guests. It would be wonderful if Ruben would come on, because Ruben has great stories. Like I said, he's the one who's turned me on to many a great cigar. So Ruben, I know you're watching.
It's disintegrating. This vintage cigar is beginning to disintegrate.
Yes, I know. But I'm just saying, so he's turned me on, let me phrase it then. He's turned me on to many great disintegrating cigars. And he knows that because I smoke them. So even when he says, these are great and these are good, you should collect them. They're not that collectible. Because I smoke them. But I do keep the bands as a memory. And then when I look at the bands, I think of how nice it was that he did send the
really disintegrated badly there, but there you go. It is what it is.
So I do. The fans are wonderful. We hope you enjoy the show. If you have suggestions for the show, feel free to send them to the suggestion box. Good luck with that. And next year, we will be back, the three of us. And just to let you know, next year is the 5th year of 2OF Entertainment. And I think we're doing the cigar show 3 years, right?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. At least 2, if not 3.
Yeah, it'll be 3 years, I think, starting next year.
It would be nice if you give me an audit sometime and say, this is how many years we've been doing this, or this is how many shows we've done.
I can tell you that, actually. We can go and
just
give you
the
that.
Habanos show. The Habanos show.
No, I got the Habanos show. We can go back to the very first Habanos Saturday show.
We may, in fact, let me leave you with a teaser, which you won't know. We may change the name of the show a little bit for 2026.
Nice. Does David know?
No, only I know in this head. I'm the only one who knows.
Okay, just to let you know, and I'm glad that you're going to do that. You got to let David know, because he's got to make the graphics, and Raul know
he can play catch
he's
up.
got to do the voiceover. Okay, it's next Saturday. David,
just change the name of the show.
Just change the name of the show next Saturday, and then David's going to be like, "Oh, I have to change the name of the show." So
we're going to call it the Luxury Cigar Club.
Oh my God, Jesus! No, we're not.
The Luxury Cigar Club.
Really? Is that what
if you can't get in, you're not welcome.
So, like the Habibi Club that they've not really asked us to join, but we keep hearing about it.
I'm not aspiring to that height. Yeah,
okay.
I'm saying we're just going to call ourselves the Luxury Cigar, because this is the fashion now. No, the Luxury Cigar Club for aficionados and aficionados.
I can't even remember all that. Why can't we just call ourselves the old school cigar Habano guys?
Well, you come up with your suggestion, I'll come up with my suggestion, and we'll see which one rolls.
So next week we're voting on it with the fans.
Yeah, we're going to go very much more Monty Python with this.
Oh, I'm liking this. Are we going to tell Usman? Because you know he doesn't watch the shows after he watches them when he leaves. So are we not telling him we're doing the Monty Python in 2026?
Well,
and just find out?
He'll find out when we announce it on the show. Find out.
He's gonna find out
If he's
when.
on the show, he's threatening not to be on the show for 2026, and I think that's going to significantly affect the ratings in one direction or another. But let's see how that
He's
that's
gonna be
going.
on. I feel he'll be on the show.
He just said it. The words came out of his mouth, not my mouth.
He said he won't be on the show anymore this year. This is the last show of this year. He said he'll be back on 26.
I see. I wasn't listening carefully enough. He hid that well.
Oh my God, you never carefully listen. I can't wait to see your color book collection now. I'm very excited.
Well, there you go.
Do we want to say anything inspirational before we leave for the last show of 2025?
I want to wish everyone everyone who's been watching, I want to thank them for watching and bearing with us. And if they find our company interesting, that's a wonderful thing. I don't even find my own company interesting.
That's true.
And wishing everyone a really good start to 2026 in one way or the other. I hope you all had a very peaceful Christmas time. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoy the Christmas period quite a lot because in the UK, it becomes dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and all the beautiful fairy lights and Christmas spirit. I really enjoy. I revel in that. And then I hope everyone had a nice time, and looking forward to 2026.
And just before we go, Ahmed said broccoli leaf. So I'm not sure what broccoli leaf means.
Broccoli leaf.
And maybe it's the new cigar we should try.
That might be. That's very interesting. I'll be thinking about that for the next hour. What he actually meant. Now, was that a reference to cubby broccoli? I mentioned cubby broccoli a couple of weeks ago. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that's a reference to.
Cubby broccoli, for you that don't know, is the one who did the James Bond, started the James Bond movies. There you go.
There you go. And broccoli is named after him, apparently, because he imported it into the USA. Apparently.
You just never know. Kids, it's been a blast to see you all here in 2025. We will be back next Saturday when it's 2026. Unfortunately, that means the three of us will be back. We love to see you. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for your little donations every now and then to buy cigars. We appreciate that as always. There's the banner up there somewhere if you want to buy merch. And if you don't want to buy merch, don't do it. But the most important thing, don't forget to like and subscribe to the show, because that's why we do it, for you guys. And it's the enjoyment we get from it and your interaction. And next year, I'm paid for my teeth next week. Next year, we'll have guests from around the world and some interesting guests. If you'd like to be a guest, if you think you're interesting, reach out to one of us and we'll flip a coin and see. And there you go. Anything else, Mr. Rizza, before we say Happy New Year and blow out of this popsicle stand?
Enjoy your next cigar, big time.
Enjoy your next cigar. It's a code name for Usman, by the way. That's what.
There you go.
All right. Well, now we know. All right, everybody. Happy, healthy. Enjoy 2025. We'll see you in 2026. There you go. Cheers, everybody.